Right, Johan Garan, why, in your opinion, are England so much better than Wales at rugby? Joke, let's start again. I worked that out last night, yeah. Okay. Right, Crosso. Johan Garan, that will have to be the end of the Welsh conversation now, so that's as far as I go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much indeed for coming in and speaking with us, and Scully, of course, here today. Johan, for you, where are you going in your career? Where do you want to go?
Like I've said before, I think I spoke to you in the gym before my last fight a few weeks out, and I said the aim that we're looking at is to be world champion by end of my end. Well, he'll have the same goal as I will, to be world champion by end of our careers. And I think it's definitely reasonable. It's not easy, take a lot of work and obviously a bit of luck as well. But no, that's what we've set out to do in this sport. When I was a kid, I said to be Commonwealth champion, done that, and you slowly do these little steps, and eventually, hopefully, we get there.
It's well, let's set your ambitions high. Why not?
Yeah, definitely.
So, Garan, any different answer? I suppose not.
No, definitely. World champion by end of our career that is the aim. Has been the aim since kids, and especially now being in the setup we are with Ant Crawler, he's a man that's been there, done it himself. So I personally don't think we could be in a better space. So we're going to do it somewhere. I think we'll do it under Ant, and he knows what it takes.
What's it like working with Ant?
It's a lot of fun. You need to be patient sometimes, but like Ant. But his knowledge on boxing is incredible, and just because he's a good boxer doesn't make you a good coach. But Ant's a good teacher as well, which is important, and he really is a good coach. And I'm learning, like, train this morning, 7 round spar, and I've taken bits away, got bits to work on with him Friday, and literally learning every day, every week. So
taking you right back. Why boxing?
Why boxing? I'm not sure really, because we were boxing from 7 or 8, and we were also playing rugby at 7 or 8. When we got to about 13, 14, I think we packed the rugby in and decided boxing. It's one of those things. It's the competitive side of boxing where when we walked in the gym at 8 years old, I just loved the thought of being in the ring with one other boy, and it was me or him. And that, like, gladiator side of boxing, I absolutely. But I like that about rugby as well. The contact, you're going into contact with someone, going into tackle, that, and it's me or him. And I just loved that side of boxing. And
you two even put that into golf.
Yeah,
we've seen it.
But it was that side of boxing, and we were naturally very good. Strong, fit, and just from a young age probably shown a lot of talent, so we decided to go down that route.
You're both naturally competitive guys. You must be, to do what you do.
Yeah.
And you're obviously twins. I know obviously it's I think your mum has decreed that you guys will not fight together against each other in the same way, but how competitive are the two of you as brothers, and how does that sort of help you, do you think, in your career?
Yeah, very competitive. But it's not so much the results we get. We're not so much competitive on that anymore. It's more, when you're training, when you're running, you want to do better than. Quite often, if I do better than him, I'm doing better than most in the gym. And I don't go for everything, but that's always been the sort of level since being kids. If I can do better than him, I'm usually up there somewhere. And we've always pushed each other like that. And yeah, whatever we've done, it can be. Well, it's stupid. You've seen us on the golf course. It's running, boxing, but even stuff that's not really physical, it'd be down to that as well.
I
Sitting
think
in
it's
the
great
sauna
that
longer.
you can both challenge each other, but it's like you say, it's helping both your careers where you can, as you say, challenge, and you get one over on each other.
Yeah,
you're gonna beat.
It's comforting as well, because even as kids we've set our standards very high, and like you said, if I'm doing slightly better than him, I know I'm up there somewhere in the top %. So if I'm doing better than him at it, or getting the one over on him, I know
it's a benchmark, a natural benchmark.
I stand a chance. Yeah. I'm up there somewhere. So and that's been the same since we've been when we used to do cross country in school. I mean, from 6 or 7 years old, we were first and second. That's one thing I
never
used
beat me.
Never beat me. Till we got into the later years of secondary school and started the 1500 meters, I start getting on top then. But we were first and second, and that was national level as well.
Wow.
So same, like even now when we go on our runs, we're still pushing each other and won't let the other one pass. But it's been like that for
still
years.
the same result. It's weird. I'm still that little bit.
Not over short distance. If it's a sprint, I'm
a bit of competitiveness we can see coming
Still
out there.
that
Who passed the
quicker.
driving test first?
mate. That was a bitter pill for him to swallow
That
because
was awful, to be fair. I was like,
he's always, I think, his downfall, and that was Johan's a perfectionist with stuff like that, and you probably see he's a lot more technical with certain stuff he does. I think that's why his golf has actually gone backward, because he's trying too hard. Instead of just getting up there somewhere, he wants it 4 foot from the pin, and he thought so much about his driving tests. He failed twice.
Yeah.
Where I went in,
First time.
I'll give it a go. First time.
Say the best drivers pass third time, you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. He was probably did all the lessons. My mum had said, Darren's not going to pass, but Johan will pass. Like, he's always very good at that sort of thing, where he just overthought it. And I went, same with sort of
Garen
opponents.
just bumbles into things, and it just happens for him. Where it doesn't happen for me. I've got to just rock up. Oh yeah, it's done for him, and off he goes.
But if you're training, you've got to have that detailed mindset. You've got to understand that surely it's not the big things you do, it's the little things. It's sweating the small stuff. It's making sure that you are where you're supposed to be. You've got the right kit, you've got the right gloves, you're doing the right routines. It's, as Scully said to me previously, it's not practice makes perfect, it's perfect practice.
Yeah, definitely. An old coach said to us before in our old gym in Sheffield, there was all the Olympic medalists up on the wall, and he said the only difference between the ones that aren't up there and the ones up there is attention to detail. And I've remembered that. And anything you do in the gym or even day-to-day life, your attention to detail, and you'll go a long way.
What's your biggest assets? Is it your skill? Is it your speed? Is it your power? Is it your resilience? Is it your will to win?
I would say there's a few. Like our will to win is massive. Our stamina is very good. We're powerful.
Hate losing, the pair of us. I've always said this, like, we hate losing more than we like winning, and I think when I got that trait, it's pretty powerful. But no, you need a bit of natural talent, but we've learnt a lot over the years. But yeah, I'd say our determination and our will to sort of work hard when no one's around or watching. We always know each other are watching, so that also helps push each other as well. So the will to work when no one's watching as well, I think that's got us.
Got to start even when we're in the gym in Manchester or running around Chiltern Water Park, just sort of picture our old man there sort of watching, because if he was there, there'd be no slacking. So it's like, even if Ant's on the pads with him in the ring and I know he's not got an eye on me, you've got to just pretend there's someone watching you, just to make sure you're getting everything.
Your dad's been a huge influence on both of your careers, etc., as you've got going. Tell us, because I know he coaches himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got the amateur gym in Cardigan, and it's a great club, all around, well run. Gives a lot of lads a lot of opportunities. We've got another young lad from Cardigan now moving up to Manchester to train with Ant, looking to turn over. So goes to show the quality that's coming out of that gym, and it's such a small part in West Wales as well. So he's coached us since we've been 8 years old. So he got us to a certain level, and he did the right thing. He said, "Boys, I've got you as far as I can. It's time to go on now." And then we went to the Welsh team and then to the GB team. But as far as the basics and fundamentals to win national titles, he's a great coach.
And so, obviously, the first sort of real national, or actually international success that you maybe became notable for was the Commonwealth Games, wasn't it? Obviously you went on, you got your gold medal in the Commonwealth Games. Talk us through, like, sort of when you first arrived at the Games. What's it like being part of that Team GB?
Yeah, so I'll take you back to sort of the start, where we're actually in the European Championships out in Yerevan in Armenia when the team publicly got announced, and had the phone call, because although you might be the best fighter in Wales, it doesn't guarantee you a spot on the Commonwealth team. You still got to qualify against other athletes from different sports. And got that text that we are going to be there, and we went back to Cardiff to train away from Sheffield. Sheffield, the GB camp turned into the England camp essentially, and the Scots went back to Scotland and Glasgow, and we came back to Cardiff. And I think it was 6-7 weeks we had, was it? In Cardiff, we had 10-day camp out in Tenerife as well, which was nice after the sort of year we'd had. We'd had 2 sort of European championships, which were, I'd had 5 fights and 4 fights.
I'd had 10. I'd had 5 and 5.
And I'd had 2 at the start of the year as well, and we were only in June. So at that point, I was 12 fights in already before June, and that sort of 10-day camp in Tenerife, we trained very hard out there, but is also very relaxing just to sort of train hard in the morning, enjoy a bit of sun, and then train hard in the afternoon when it cooled down a bit. And when we're getting back into Cardiff, we had the kit day, and that's when it started feeling real. We went up to Celtic Manor, and we all got our Team Wales kit there, the tracksuits, the t-shirts, and that's when you realise that this is it now. And we're still 5 weeks out, and there's still a lot of work to do. We went up to Sheffield, probably about 2.5 weeks out from the games. We did our last little sparring camp up there. It was sort of a little multi-nation camp. And then we went to Birmingham. We actually moved into Birmingham, but outside the athletes' village for a few days. I can't remember how long. Back then we still had to get COVID tested to go in, and if you got rumbled, I remember being terrified about this. If you got rumbled, the games was basically over before it started. So we then moved into the village. Everyone got in fine, and I didn't fight for a week. I was in the village a week, and I'm just thinking, and I remember
food's incredible there.
The food is good.
It's the biggest canteen I've ever seen, and there's any bit of food you can get.
But it was just.
I was weight.
That's the annoying thing. Like, you saw a lot of lads actually failed weight, didn't they? A few lads really struggled, but that's a discipline, isn't it?
Staying disciplined, don't blow up, and we kept on it. And our coach kept reminding us. He goes, "You're not here for memories. You're here for a medal. That's what you'll remember this for." And like he said, you can take what you want from it, but it's that medal you'll remember in the end. And that stuck with me as well. And so I had quite a long wait, and obviously the other boys at box had settled in, and the first fight in amateur boxing is always the worst in a tournament, because you're thinking, how fit am I? Am I sharp?
What's the journey done? A lot of the time you're fighting abroad, you don't know how your legs are going to feel, what the journey's done. So that first fight's always so, and get that out of the way, and you're away then.
Did you know all your opponents?
No, a lot of them look African countries not really seen before.
So you don't really know what you're up against.
But that's the beauty of the Commonwealth Games, I think. Like, you go to a European Championships, you're on the circuit with all the lads, and have been for the last 2, 3, 4 years, where a lot of these African nations come over, and the lads haven't had the opportunities to fight internationally before, which, in my opinion, makes them even more dangerous, because they've got nothing to lose. They're going to come flying at you. And I think I had a box Nigeria the first day, and exactly what I expected. Just game, tough, strong. Fought like his life depended on it. I managed to beat him, and my second fight was against an experienced lad who, I think it was his 3rd or 4th Commonwealth Games, done 2 Olympic Games from Mauritius again. So managed to get the win over him too. But you come up against lads there where you'd never come up against them anywhere else.
What's the focus on the amateur game in regards to how you fight? Is it very different than the pro game?
Your point scoring.
That's what I mean. So it's more technical?
Yeah, and it's
you're not going for the big bang, because
it's not a sprint, but it's a lot nearer to a sprint than a pro fight.
Especially international amateur boxing. I'd always try and tell a young lad we know now going to the European Championships, and just trying to explain to him, like, if you can win the first 2 rounds, take the last round off, because if you're fighting 5 times, having that round off is gonna pay dividends in the end. Like, if you're in a 3-round war first day, and then you've got the same again for 5 days. By the time the one that counts comes in the final, you're going to be in bits. So if you can nick the first 2 rounds and sort of just get through the last one and look after yourself, you'll be fairly fresh for the next round, and then same again. So,
it's a huge part of it in amateur boxing. It's just managing the rounds, is what we'd say, and just looking after yourselves. Obviously, we don't wear head guards anymore in the amateurs, and cuts is a huge thing, especially when you fight in the next day. And we see the doctor every day before boxing, so you still got to pass that medical, and if you've got a gash over your eye, he's not going to let you fight. So you have all these like variables when you go into a competition style tournament like this, and obviously a lot can go wrong, and luckily I got through the whole games unscathed, and in the final then you're not too arsed what happens.
Caught swinging.
Yeah, that's it.
When you got through to that, at which point in that final bout, was there a point when you thought to yourself, I've got this?
And we're coming back after the first, and hear the coach go, like, because we get the judges' scorecards, unlike pro boxing.
You know you've won the round.
Yeah, we get it on the screen in the corner.
I'm going to say, because it could be a risk, that, couldn't it?
Yeah, sorry, that's only an international amateur box, that is. It comes up so the crowd will see it. You've got a little screen in the corner as well that your team will see. And obviously if it's televised, it'll come up on the TV screen. So if you can just go up 2 rounds and you know you've won those 2 rounds, you can just not take it off. It's always a bad habit to switch off completely, but just not risk anything and slightly play it safe if you know you're 2 rounds up. So
imagine though, if you know you're 2 rounds down.
That was me in the semi-finals against.
So your only game then is go for the knockout.
That's it. Yeah.
It must be hard when you're 2-0 up to try and switch off, knowing the other guy's going to come.
Yeah, that's it. In my semi-final was against an Irish lad who just got a bronze medal at Tokyo Olympics 2 years before, and I knew I was up against it going in. He was a good fighter, but very defensive fighter that would stay away from me, and he didn't really engage the whole fight. But just trying to get near him for 3 rounds, like needed 8 or 10 rounds with him to slow him down, where he just ran away. And when he was 2 rounds up going into last, I said, oh my God. Like, I didn't feel like I was losing the fight because I'd hardly been hit, but that's a downer when you know that, because you know you've got to go all out, and that 3 minutes then is so short. When you know you're chasing the fight, it's over before you know it.
What's a typical day look like now, training wise?
So this morning, I'll just run you through today. This morning, I was in the gym at 9 o'clock. Had a good warm up, and then done 7 rounds sparring, a few rounds on the bag, just cooling off and going through it. And obviously after this now, I'll go and do an assault bike session, which is always pretty tough. And then on the Wednesday, I'll always have an ice bath. I'll probably go hot, cold, probably 3 times, and just freshen up for tomorrow. I've got a day off punching tomorrow, but I'll have a big day in S&C, so I need to be fresh for that.
So how many days a week do you train?
6, probably.
6 in camp, 6, because you'll do something Saturday, wouldn't you?
Twice a day, Monday to Friday, and then once on a Saturday or Sunday, depending. I'm sparring again Friday, so if I'm feeling it a bit of Saturday, I'll take Saturday off and just do a light, steady session on Sunday then.
I mean, obviously, being pros now, because you're now 5 and 4 fights into your professional career. You're training twice a day, 6 times, twice a day, 6 times a week, etc. Obviously, you've got to survive, and because the sport that you're in, it's a business. That's what it is. How do you find the aspect of going out and finding, sponsors like, obviously us, but the other guys on there who really do? How do you? Is that a part of the thing that you sort of always expected and knew was coming, that you're going to have to go out and do this, or is it something? Is it an unfortunate side effect, or do you enjoy it?
Yeah, definitely. We've been very lucky since being young. I think our dad's a lot to thank for it, because he works around home, and a lot of his customers and people he worked with would sponsor us when we first started out on the Welsh team full time. And so we've been quite good at, speaking to sponsors and learning to ask, because when you start asking, there's nothing worse than asking someone for sponsorship, is there? It's horrible, and it's getting used to that, and we're very lucky now. We've got a pretty solid network of people, and it is like a massive part of being an athlete is almost socializing and getting yourself out there outside of the gym. Because if we weren't really people, we'd struggle to. If we met you and you'd say, Jesus Christ, they're a bit boring. It's not.
How do you know it didn't?
Look, is it? You want to know that people are going to be interested in what we're doing, and you got to sell yourself a bit. And yeah, no, we're very lucky with sponsors like yourselves. Lucky that Indie Sport brought you onto us. Lucky for David there. And but yeah, like again, we made that connection with David Matthews, and he introduced us to him. But you got to be open when people get in touch. You got to be open to them, and sometimes not every sponsorship's a good idea. So you got to be mindful of who you work with. As much as you want us to be prim and proper and professionals, we also got to make sure whoever's sponsoring us is prim and proper and professionals as well. So yeah, and like I said, with our sponsors on the shorts now, they all get behind us, they all support us really well, and that just helps us. For me now, I boxed 4 weeks ago, picked up a little niggle in my hand, so I'm not going to fight this side of Christmas, but it just keeps you turning over until my next fight, which will be hopefully late January next year. So
just makes everything so much easier. I mean, we have had times since being pros where our finances were questioned, and like we were worrying about getting the rent paid because we've got to live in Manchester, which is 4.5 hours from home. And a happy fighter is a good fighter, I think. And the same with any sport. If the athlete's happy, he's going to be performing well. And if you've got financial problems and worries and struggles, you're never going to be fully focused, I don't think. So just having that little backing and safety net off people like yourselves and just makes it so much easier to perform and just concentrate on the one thing that is important, and that's training hard and winning. It's
an interesting point. Something that Scully and I were talking about before is that, I was saying that when we've been lucky enough to go and watch Lee Leopard's train a few times, one of the things that struck me about it was that every single one of them's got a smile on the face. They're working hard. You watch them, but they've got a smile on the face.
It's a privilege we know to do what we're doing now is a privilege, and same with any sports person. If they can do that full time, like I know people. We might think, oh, I want to be what he's doing. Like, there's always people above you where you'd like to be in his situation, but just be grateful for where we are, because I know there's lads probably back in Wales, similar to where we're from, wishing they're in our shoes. So we'll get to where we want to get, I'm sure. But at the minute, just take it all in, learn, and just appreciate what we've got.
I'll be getting a firm reminder Monday, I think. The old man's asked me to go help him with some concrete at home. what we used to do. So
back to real life.
Back on site. But it's nice to go home because we did our apprenticeship.
I think it's important. I really think that's important.
Keeps us grounded, and we did our apprenticeship before. We actually did it alongside when we went full-time boxing.
While we were training for the
Welsh
Commonwealth
boxing.
Games,
Welsh boxing allowed us to do it. So after every fight, usually I go home for a week and chill out, but you always get roped in to help the old man do something. And like I said, I enjoy it now because it's nice to keep your hand in, keep reminded of what your trade is. And
imagine it takes you away from boxing for a while as well.
Yeah,
it's nice to switch off, isn't it, and focus on something other than boxing when it consumes so much of your life. It has to box at the level and to be the talents that you are. Got to live and breathe it, but sometimes, like you say, just if you can kind of take yourself away from it and just chill.
Yeah. Imagine it keeps that shouted at, and you think, "Why am I doing this? I'm doing you a favour, and I'm getting shouted
What about away from boxing? Is there any other sidelines or things that you're interested in? Obviously,
like that. We've
obviously
grown up in a farming and building background in the countryside, so we do like going home, and we are big in we do like our construction and stuff like that. Did 3 years in college, bricking and plastering. We do roofing as well. Obviously not so much anymore, but when we go home, that's the sort of jobs we get into. Concrete. So maybe one day, no matter how well boxing goes, I think one day we'll find ourselves going back to something like that. But
even if it's on your own property that you're gonna buy and do up, and
passion for coaching as well. So if a coaching job ever came up, I'm not sure if I'd ever be keen on coaching professionals, but coaching the amateurs like my dad. If I had no financial struggles and if I do well enough in boxing, I could just settle down and just have an amateur gym and just train amateur lads.
Why not the pros? Why not the pros? Just out of interest.
Hassle, probably.
Bit of hassle, but I don't know. It's like same what our dad says now. He just likes seeing a lad come in the gym at 8 years old, take him to a national title, similar to what he's done with us. And I think seeing a lad go from grassroots up, I think that is probably better. I prefer coaching the lads who are teenagers and young men and seeing them develop a lot. Where I think there's more to be done.
You know what? You sound so much like me.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, why did you not go into professional coaching?
Well, they know it all, don't they?
Coaching because, kind of as a senior player, they know your knowledge is there. But again, it's in the professional game and certainly at clubs, but I imagine like pro boxing.
Yeah.
It's not about the things that you love about coaching.
Yeah.
The stuff in the ring, there's too much politics and other things that kind of take you away from that. And you speak to any Super League, or international rugby coach, and they'll tell you the same. But I'm like you. I love coaching, passing on your knowledge of what makes you the sportsman that you are.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you can see,
never know who's actually going to be walk in the gym or walk on the pitch. It could be the next Paul Sculthorpe, can't it? You never know.
And that's it. And passing the actual coaching, for that hour on the field.
Yeah.
The most I've ever enjoyed coaching was coaching my son's team from under 12s.
Yeah.
And you see them develop.
Yeah.
You sound so much like me.
Yeah, no, it is strange, but we help our dad in the gym back home, and we've started coaching in Manchester now in an amateur club, and like seeing the lads there even develop. I feel they appreciate it more, and I feel like I'm doing better helping the young lads, because some of these lads haven't had much, and if you can just give them a little bit, they really do appreciate it. And you might, even if it's not in the boxing world, you might benefit them in their college work, their school work. They might leave the gym a better person. So that's what it's about, I think.
Or rewarding.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing you've taken from Mann in the period that you've worked with him?
This will be a good one now.
The one thing.
Punctuality's a must, because it's he makes you realise how frustrating it is when people are late. Don't think he's ever on time.
He sets that example.
Honestly,
I've experienced that with them.
I know it's I know it sounds mad, but just how nice he is to everyone. Like,
so down to earth.
He's so down to earth, and he's still the same guy, and just remembering where you come from, and that's something we try and do a lot as well. So
something I've noticed actually working with people who are genuine high performers is the genuine high performers are humble. That's what they have as a trait, humility, because they've truly done it. Is the way that I analyse it.
And if we ever get to the pinnacle of boxing, we know personally, wouldn't have been possible without the help of people like yourselves, people back home. So if you're all of a sudden going to put yourself on this pedestal and think, well, I'm better than these now because I'm up here, it's just,
a lot
can't
of people
get my head
do
around it. Like, you would never get to this stage if it's not for people helping you when you were at grassroots starting off. So
we've got sponsors at home that some of us gave us like £100 a month starting off. I think that's what we used to ask for when we first asked for sponsors, and you know what I mean. And obviously now we've got sponsors like yourselves on board, but we'll never forget the sponsors that backed us when we were just two 16-year-olds saying they're going to go to the Commonwealth Games, they're going to go and do this. And Well, they didn't. They could have just looked at us and think these must be having us on here for a few quid. And, but you know, they got behind us and they backed us, and a hell of a gamble for them. But you know, we'll be grateful for them forever, because it meant we could then crack on with our apprenticeship and train full time. We're so lucky to be able to do that.
I've started listening too intently to Johan's answer.
Going back to Ant and obviously your time with him in the gym. What's he, away from the great lad that we know he is, and like yourselves and humble, tactically and technically, what's he changed?
Obviously coming from the amateurs, you only got 3 rounds, so you're, when we first turned over, not panicky, but you're rushing everything very fast pace. So tactically, he's slowed us down. He's helped us pick our shots, and just, especially like even today in sparring, just easing into a fight or easing into a spar, and just giving you certain shot selection just to help you do that. Because rather than go out all guns blazing, just slowly do it. And after the first minute, you go, right, start bringing a right hand in now. Start doing this a bit more, and just a couple little bits every little time. And do try and listen as much as I can. I think I do. Like, sat down after the 4th round of my last fight, and I'd put the lad down in the second. Where if I'd done that in my debut or my second fight, like, I'd just go flying at him then, and I might not have had the gas tank to do the 6 rounds. Where I put him down in the second, he was like, calm down, we're okay. If this goes 6, it's okay. So just back to boxing. And when I came back after the 4th round, he said, Evan's perfect, but I'd be really upset now if you drop the pace. Keep the same pace, keep doing what you're doing, don't step off. And it's little things like that that are important. I knew I was 4 rounds, 5 rounds up because of the knockdown, where I could have easily just played it safe. But he wanted to see for the future, like, I'm fighting again in 4 weeks, and I know now I can fly for 6 rounds. So I put my foot on the gas going into round 5, push, and it was tough. Like, kept working hard, but I know now going into the next fight, and I'm grateful that you said make sure you push the next 2 rounds and keep the pace up, because now I'm confident in the back of my mind that when I go into this fight in 4 weeks, I can be really grafted for 6 rounds, and I'll be fit.
Ant always really surprises me on fighting at how relaxed he is. That's something our dad's picked up in the change rooms as well, but weirdly it adds a bit of like confidence as well. Like I've always asked him, what do you think of him, like when the opponent when I'm fighting, and yeah, and he won't really give you an answer, but it's just because he's not asked, but he knows you'll be all right, and it does give you that bit of confidence, just thinking, well, Ant's watched me enough in training. If I just go do what I did in sparring last week in here, I'm gonna be just fine. And
like you say, it's probably a case of controlling that nervous energy as well. Is that nerves can zap you, can't they?
Yeah,
and especially in your game where you're all on your own.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline and everything like that. So if you go your nervous energy crossed with adrenaline, I mean,
could be a disaster.
No matter how fit you are, you can be done in 2 rounds.
So how do you control that on fight night?
We're very different how we control it, weirdly.
I'm very chilled the day before the day of the fight, and then when I get to the venue, I'm very focused then, and that's when it starts kicking in. But the minute I get to the ring walk, I'm at peace with what I'm about to do, go and fight, and that's when I just feel it all leave my body. I start getting really excited. So only as soon as I start walking is when the excitement starts. So I'm excited all the day before, and then all the excitement goes when you turn up to the venue. But by the time you're back on the ring walk, you can literally feel it leave your body. And
what do you take in on the ring walk? Do you look at the crowd? Do you
try not to look at the people?
Get in the ring as quick as possible.
Yeah. do you not look for family, or do you not look to acknowledge anybody?
That's one of the rules we've always been taught since young. Was our dad, and he still tells the kids now, and I think it's important, is when you're boxing, no one out there matters. Like, if you're sat down between a round, you do not take your eyes off your coach. You're not looking over the ropes, seeing who's sat in the front row, someone to give you a bit of advice. Like, if you pit the lad down, you look back at your corner and see what they've got to say, because at the end of the day, no one's going to tell me what to do better than what Ant's going to tell me in the corner. So it's pointless me looking for him or looking for a friend, or just you look at your corner and you listen to one person.
You always have the same ring walks.
I do.
I'm a bit stuck, to be fair.
Tried convincing him to get a sex bomb, Tom Jones.
How did you come up with the nickname?
Oh, it's not his nickname.
That's not my nickname.
the Crummick Klitschko's I'm talking about. Who was it thought of that one?
Yeah, that was Bristol, wasn't it? The guy said, Ricky was buzzing with that,
right.
wasn't he? Fair play. But yeah, I've not got a nickname at the minute, to be fair, but I'm sure someone will come up with something at some point.
Better than the craze, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, mate, that's good.
Yeah.
Johnny and Reg. Yeah. So go on then. How do you avoid each other? How do you avoid each other? Are you naturally going to be different weights?
Naturally, I think we will. So as the Commonwealth Games, he was the weight below me, and I've stayed the same weight turning over the pro. So I'm still a super welterweight, and he was a welterweight, and he's skipped super welter and gone straight to middle. So I think we'll both go through the weights a bit. I do think as we're only 23, so I think he'll end up a super and I'll end up a middleweight. So might even go bigger again. You never know, but just see how we develop over the next few years. Obviously, at the minute, we're both set on getting British titles at the respective weights we are now. So I'd like one at super welterweight, and you'd like one at middleweight. And whether we move on past that and can keep the weights, if I can stay at 11 stone and he can stay at his weight, we can stay. But do
you think you will do? Because, like you say, you're so young and
yeah,
I'll naturally fill.
I'll definitely be a middleweight one day, I think. I size myself up next to some of the other super welters now, and I'm 6'2" at 11 stone, and by the time I've weighed in and refueled, I'm huge compared to my opponents. So yeah, I'm not sure about Johan, but I probably will end up a middleweight.
Yeah, and again, that's something we're very different in as well, is how our bodies carry the weight differently. I think it's because I've always kept my weight down because I boxed lighter than him as an amateur, and in this period where we moved to Manchester and started training with Ant, and we didn't fight for a while, and I've always had better muscle mass.
He's trying to say you're a lot leaner.
I am a lot, and it was on GB even when I was lighter, I'd have more muscle mass than him, and just how our bodies are different. I'll walk around a lot heavier than, a lot more weight over my fight day weight, and
still be ripped,
and I'll still be in shape. But if Garen walked, say, 6 kilos over his fight weight, you'd probably see it on him. Where I could walk around at 80 kilo and I look like I'm in shape. That's just how our bodies are different like that. And if I go in out of fight camp, I actually look better almost because I put the muscle on and I look healthy. And when I get on the scales, I'm down on weight, shredded. And it's just, I'm lucky like that. I don't bloat up. And I think that's probably why I've overtaken him in weight, is because I do put that muscle on fairly quick. And I think if one day I did need to go to super
doesn't
middle.
Mean he's stronger though. I mean he's stronger.
But do you do much? Do you do much weight wise? Like heavy? Yeah. Is it kind of explosive stuff? Or
doing heavy at the minute. So I've got 4 weeks till I fight, and I'm on the hex bars now. And my goal before my next fight is to do a 200 kilo 1 rep. So whether I've got a little bet with my old S&C coach, Sam, that I don't think you think so.
On the hex deadlift.
What are you on now?
I did 160 for 5 last Thursday, fairly easy. So tomorrow I'm going to try and push to 180, and then I've got the week after then to try and put another 20 on. But
I was doing 180. I was doing 180 in my second fight camp. I'll do 200 now.
Who are your idols? Or do you have idols now that you look at?
For me, I gotta say Joe Calzaghe. To me, he's the best British boxer.
Good, very good argument for that.
Yeah, you're not gonna get better than him, and it's been from South Wales.
I hardly think it's an argument.
No, I don't.
If he was an American, 46 fights unbeaten, and the names he's beaten as well. Without question, the best British fighter. But
been from Newbridge, Southpaw as well. I'm left-handed like him, and just remember watching him as a kid grow up and just loved the way he went about his work. Coached by the old man, trained like an animal, Calzaghe, and it was just yeah, to have one of the best ever to do it from just down the road, a few hours down the road, it shows that it's possible. And I mean, he had no fancy facilities in Newbridge, did he? Boxer ring, a few bags, and his dad on the pads, and really took him to the top. So, I mean, if Joe could do it,
you see a lot of parallels there
with all the facilities we got up here.
No excuse.
We've got no excuses, have we? So
we've not got the hills though. We've not got the hills of South Wales. Where that's one thing. Whenever we go back to Pembrokeshire, we've got Sally Mountains there, and we've had the lads. We've had Ant and the lads down for a training camp on the farm before, and went out for a little 6-miler. And one of the hills goes on for about 1.5 miles, and it's like that off the beach, up the cliffs, and it just goes on forever. But you need those runs in your legs. You're going to do the longer rounds.
Our manager said to us, actually, as you get, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get like a overseas training camp in, like hot weather training camp, but for maybe one day if you fight for a world title and you want to train abroad. But if I had the money and stuff to have a camp abroad, I'd genuinely put it back on the farm at home, where you got the hills, you got the boxing gym, you got the weights gym. We've got everything we need in a few miles of where we live at home, and all we need would be Ant, Wayne Ambrose, maybe get James Langford down there. Like, do you know what I mean? You'd have to pay them to be there, but you wouldn't get a better place to have a training camp. It's very similar to sort of the Brecon Beacons are renowned for being hilly. Swear.
The Marines.
6 milers. What's the thoughts behind them? Is it done for cardio? Is it
split? Some days we'll push, some days we're not. Like, we used to do it very often, and we would push as fast as you can. When now, as a pro, I think it's good just to get them just once a week, get a 6-miler,
like a zone 2.
Yeah, just get it in the legs. Don't have to be a killer on the lungs. Just get it in the legs, and
then maybe once a week, then go for it. Yeah. Just mix it up a bit, and just so you've got that tank to go, the engine to go all the way in the fight. But yeah, it's a balance of doing it. But I think it's no secret, hills get you fit. Not got many hills around Sale in Manchester, so it's a bit have to travel. But yeah, no, if I could have a training camp anywhere for 8 weeks, it'd be back home in Crymych, and you got the hills, you got the gym. It'd just be getting the team and everyone down there.
I think you've got to like the training, haven't you? You've got to enjoy training it.
Yeah.
As much as you like, as much as you can. I mean, no matter how disciplined you are, if you don't like the job, you're not going to be very good about it.
I'll always be happy training at home. Yeah. Like if I could train for 10 weeks at home, where we are,
even up here, though, I'm excited to get to the gym every morning. Still, after being here a year and a half, more nearly 2 years in February, so excited to get to the gym every morning. And yeah, I know it's if I tell you now what I've done for the last month, you'll think that's the same old stuff. But every day is slightly different. It might be the same as last week, but still excited to go and do it. The bag work, the pads, the S&C. It's just, I just love getting up and going and doing it.
Paul understand. He just ran straight for 20 years. Crush balls.
No. It's good though that when you talk about the different people who have to be involved. Everybody in the corner, obviously, Ant, Wayne, who's your nutritionist, isn't he, etc., and the various different people involved. I mean, because you look at boxing and think, it's a solo sport, but in many ways, it's actually the team that really counts.
Especially the way
obviously there's only you in the ring.
Now it's lads are having teams like, quite frankly, we've probably got the best S&C coach in the country when it comes to boxing and combat sports in general. He's very knowledgeable. I think people are slowly clicking on to how good James Langford is, and he's been a massive part of our team since turning over. Like the weight's different, what we're lifting now, the power difference is incredible, and that's all just from this one man, just with one little change. And we only see him twice a week. We see him, and it's made a massive difference physically. And
I don't think it's just like physically lifting. Since I've been here now, like you said, almost 2 years, I've not had one injury, and I put that down to James and his S&C work. If I go in, I go, I did a lot of running last week. This is a bit sore. Put something in for the next week or two. It's gone. And it's how he manages his sessions, and I just think it's absolutely unbelievable on how. And I see a physio maybe once a camp. We see a physio. So to go from somewhere like GB where you can see a physio every day if you like, and I was always getting a bad back, bad this, bad that. With James now, and that's not throwing dirt on our old S&C coach. We had to drive a long way there. There was a lot of other factors.
10 hours a week in a car.
It was a lot, but
500 miles up from Crymych, Pembrokeshire to Sheffield Monday, and then drive home on a Thursday for 2.5 years. Like, did take its toll.
You do a lot of core stability.
Yeah, like getting there on a Monday and going in and sparring, and then lifting weights on a Monday afternoon after 5 hours in the car. You're gonna get a few niggles, aren't you?
So who is it? So in terms of the team that you guys work with, who is it puts that together? Is that Ant? Is that you?
So we've done it.
Yeah, we were Paul Reddy, our manager, first, and then he put us in touch with a few trainers and looked around a bit, decided on Ant, and then we moved with Ant here, and then we kind of asked Ant for his opinion on nutritionists. He put us in touch with Wayne. But the S&C was us, really. I saw James. James is quite big.
We were very lucky. Our old coach in Sheffield, with the GB, when we moved, we just went, do you know anyone you can recommend here? And he pointed us in the direction of James. And for me, that's probably one of the biggest pluses we've had. It's just about being able to know someone to sort of get in touch and him being approved.
So what's it take then to get in your team to be that person? You know, why would you say
trust?
Not going to work with
no
someone?
ego. I don't like any ego. That's one thing I've said. Like, anyone, you get some of these people involved in teams, and there's too bigger egos, and it's don't get me wrong, in certain different sports, like, egos can be a good thing. They can push other lads on and build a better. But in boxing, I just don't think there's room in the team for an ego. And even in all sports, like, no one's bigger than the team, no matter how good you are. So everyone's an equal in the thing. So
the only person I think in the change room with a boxing team can have an ego is the boxer. And as mad as it is, I know we as fighters, we listen to everyone in the team and listen to what they have to say. But at the end of the day, the people around the fighter work for the fighter, and you've got to remember that it's your choice who you have around you. And we're lucky with between Paul, James, Wayne, Ant. They all get on so well, and there's none of I'm better than him here, I should do this. Everyone does their roles.
Been very fortunate. They all work off each other brilliantly, like really well. So it's got just the perfect setup, I think.
I mean, without mentioning names or specifics, unless you want to, of course. I mean, what have you ever been in a situation where you thought, right, this person's got in my team, don't want them in my team no more?
No, we've been very lucky. Like, Wayne was the first nutritionist we looked at, and we looked at a few different coaches, but they're all great coaches that we've been to see. We just thought Ant was better suited for us, and we liked the location. And James was the first S&C coach we looked at because our old coach, we trusted our old coach a lot, and if he recommended him, we knew he must be good, and he was spot on. So the minute we met these people and spent a bit of time with him, we knew he'd be a great fit. And we were very lucky. It just all, there wasn't any trial and errors really. It just all fixed together perfectly.
Is there an ideal size of team? Because I suppose you can get lots of people do lots of different individual jobs.
But now is perfect.
To which that team
maybe
of five.
Especially now with Robbie Davis having retired, coming in as well with Ant as sort of second coach. He sees it he's almost more serious than Ant in many ways in the gym, but they see the fights almost very differently, and they pick up on each other. They work together really well, and like I said, Robbie's a huge asset to that gym, and we really enjoy having him.
He's had a fantastic career of his own, of course.
Yeah, and you know, like Ant, he's had the ups and downs. Maybe he's had a few more. He's had a few, like that injury he snapped his ankle mid-fight, didn't he? But Robbie's seen the highs and lows of the sport, and if you ever need anything, you know you're going to get sound advice off Robbie. And he's been about a lot of pro gyms in the UK, and he's seen it all. And yeah, like I said, to have him as well as Crawler in the gym is just a massive asset.
Did you follow both them guys when they were fighting?
No.
I'll be honest. I'll tell a story now. Like, we're not big boxing fans. We're rugby fans, like rugby union fans. And
I had to get that.
Yeah.
When I first came to train with Ants, Johan had been up here anyway, and then I got a phone call off Johan. Yeah, it's worth coming up one day. And so a few months later, we came up together and trained with Ant. And we looked around the gym, saw some pictures on the wall. So I got home then. We were staying on, what was the name of the
Church Street? Is it
Church Street in Manchester. We had a B&B there, and we got back, got the TV up, put Ant Crawler on. Probably the first time I'd watched, I think it was him against, was it Perez or something he boxed? I remember watched that, and that was the first real time I'd watched.
So he was trading you before you'd actually even seen him.
I would have been the same.
Unless I'd go and watch my mate's box. Like, there's been boxing on the last few weekends. I've not watched any of it. I watched one of the fights last weekend because a lad from Liverpool boxed the boy I'm fighting in 4 weeks. So I tuned in to watch that and watched a few rounds, took what I needed to, but turned it off then and just carried on with my Saturday afternoon. Like, I'm not going to sit there all night and watch boxing. Do you know what I mean?
A number of top sports people will say, look, the reason I got into XYZ sport was because I watched such and such when I was a kid and I loved it. I wanted to be just like them. But it sounds like to you guys, you didn't really have that sort of way. You boxed because you guys wanted to box.
Yeah, we like fighting.
We like fighting. And it's a bit different. Like, if you think how hard it is for kids, and this is one of my pets, like, we've never had Sky at home. So boxing was always on Sky. Unless we went to a pub, we were never. There was never boxing on the TV. So rugby was always on the TV in Wales, and you don't have to look very far to find it either. So growing up, like, our dream, probably still is a little dream inside, is playing rugby in the Principality one day.
Still kills me to this day that I'll never do that.
From as young as I can remember, playing rugby for Wales in the Principality, that was like every lad's
would you
dream.
both be?
Now, I played 12 back in the day.
I think I need like 2 years out to put some size
you won't
on.
be 11 stone then.
I reckon if I give me till next summer and I could be a solid 90 kilo playing rugby, that would be my aim. I'm not sure where I'd play. Probably have to go into flanker or something. Probably lose a bit of speed, but
from half.
Yeah, I could be near 90 kilo, I think, by next summer if I went into rugby.
But you do, like you said, it's what you see. Like, growing up, we were watching, and Wales were unbelievable back then. And we spoke about growing up, him and used to watch Lee Byrne at fullback, and he'd love watching Lee. But that was the age, that was the team when we were growing up, and watching James Hook, Lee Byrne, Martin Williams.
When you say who's your idol,
you had those.
Don't tell me Bernie was your idol.
Probably was back in the day. And then Jamie Roberts came over, and
I was always Jamie Roberts. Used to have a Cardiff Blues top with his number on the back. Swapped to Scarlets now.
No, to be fair, Bernie back in the day was him and James Hook. It was that era, and that's the era we grew up watching rugby, and that was who you wanted to, like I said, Calzaghe earlier, as an idol, but realistically, at that age, I'm not sure.
There wasn't boxing on TV.
Had we ever watched Calzaghe at that age?
Probably not. Unless you had Sky TV, you didn't have boxing. You didn't have boxing.
So you weren't able to watch it.
All we'd ever see was Ospreys, Scarlets, Cardiff, Dragons,
Six
Nations, Autumn Seas, just on the TV. And even now, that's getting harder to watch. I watched you had the Rugby League on BBC on the weekend, but I actually put the TNT Sports on to watch the Union. That was England, Australia as well. But
why would you do that?
I was quite interested in the Union instead. But
Union.
But even now, it's getting harder for lads to watch rugby, and football's just as hard, isn't it? Like, you've got to go to the pub, go to the match, or have Sky,
and
TNT
need a number of subscriptions as well.
And that's it. Like,
it's not all in one place.
To watch all our mates box, you need what, Sky, the Zone, and it's all different streams, and it's.
I think all sports are suffering as well with that. With participation of young kids, not just through that of being able to see it on TV.
Should be free to access.
Yeah, there's so many other distractions in there now for kids. Imagine you two grow up. Like multi-sports, you're active, you're competitive. A lot of kids now are sat in the bedrooms. Going out with your mates now is good going online on an Xbox.
But then it's because they're not they're not seeing. I mean, the amount of Grand Slams Wales won back then, and when we would have probably been 8, 9, 10 probably watching that. Shane Williams days as well. I just remember watching that as a kid and just every year buzzing for the rugby to be on the TV. And that's all we wanted to do. Rugby. And it wasn't until we'd started boxing and probably after winning our first national titles at 10, still wanted to be rugby players. Till we got to about 13, 14 and we were at British level, then it was like, nah, it's going to go this way. But our love for rugby's still there. And
you must be frustrated with the
I don't know. It's not started yet. The nation
going on.
The Welsh Saturday, doesn't it? So might have had a turnaround.
I'll be going. I'm going down to the Japan game with some mates. But
you're going, aren't you?
I'm going to the. I'm going to the South Africa game.
Is that the 29th?
29th.
The day I'm fighting. I think a few of the lads are going to watch it and then coming down.
But look, it's new manager. He's brought a few new boys in. Brought a few players back from England and. So to talk about rugby again here, I watched Sale Sharks against Gloucester on the weekend. One of the local lads, Josh Hathaway, is playing on the wing for Gloucester. And I wasn't aware of this, but I looked at the lineup. There were 2 other lads from West Wales in that. So you had 3 boys from West Wales
playing for Gloucester.
2 Aberystwyth and 1 from Llandysselwell. I was just thinking, how are they playing in Gloucester? I know they go to college. If they went Hartpury, makes sense. But we've also got a friend, Stephen Varney. He played for Gloucester. Now he's playing with Exeter, and he's even playing for Italy. And you got these talented lads, and they're just going. So it's a shame, isn't it? Someone needs to change, really. But hopefully, there's a lot of talent.
Why are you not allowed to play for Wales if you play out of Wales?
There's a 25 cap rule, so
unless you started out,
I'm not too sure the ins and outs, but
like be an exile.
Until you've had 25 caps for Wales, you have to play your club rugby within Wales. That's the easiest way to explain it. There are certain loopholes if you've had your college or education elsewhere, or you're coming in from England. But that's probably one of the downfalls. They've changed it because Rhys Carey's back. He's been at Saracens. They've brought him back, and he's not had 25 caps. I think they've made a few adjustments just to suit us, and I think we'll see that.
So that's a decision from the
WRU, yeah. But the thing is, the talents in Wales, you look at the names in the squad they've announced for there. The boys are talented, and it's not down to the players, is it? It's deeper than that, and obviously the players probably get the worst of it because they're the ones on the pitch. But yeah, like it's a deeper root problem. Like I'd say, it's probably similar to sort of like how United's been over the last 5 years. It's not the players on the pitch; it's stuff going on in the background.
Loads of talent there. Like I think
it's number 1 sport.
Yeah, like Nigel Owens came to ref a charity match in our village that we were at a few months ago before our last fight.
Yeah,
and fair play to him. He did a big thing on Facebook after, going, if people had come and watched that, you'd be wondering what is going wrong with Welsh rugby, because the amount of talented kids just coming from Pembrokeshire. I think you had our village against the county team, and then you had the 2 years. I think you had under 16s and the youths doing that. So the village against the county, and the talent there was unbelievable. And even he said that he was like, I don't know what's going wrong with these lads. Some of these lads are good enough to be at clubs in the development stages, and at least the love for the sport is still there. There's still young kids playing it, and the numbers are high. So we'll be back to where it was.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in all teams, both club and international. Transition periods. You lose. You look at some of the, Alwyn Jones and these kind of guys who've been there, Sam Warburton, who've been there for years and been to the very heights. They always obviously they come to an end. And it's that new transition period.
That's the problem. We've lost some big characters, haven't we? Like that. But,
with that, you get young blood that when they start taking off.
I have full confidence in the Welsh team there now. There's some great players. You've got Jack Morgan there at the minute. He's probably one of the best 7s in the world, isn't he? And we can just build a team around certain lads. I mean, in 5 years, I think Wales will be back at the top.
What did you make of Rhys Zammit going off to the
NFL?
What did you make of it when Rhys Zammit went off to the MF?
He's got a thing is like he's gone and done it now, and now he's back playing rugby. But at least in 20 years' time, he won't be sat in his living room in Penarth or wherever Louis Robb thinking, "What if I'd gone and done that?" You've got to admire it takes balls to do that, to move halfway across the world on your own, to try out at something you've never particularly done. And he's obviously done okay at it. He did well, but at least now he's ticked it off the list, and he can be satisfied in 20 years when he's sat in his living room retired and think, well, at least I give it a shot.
Well, even now, back playing rugby, knowing it didn't happen, and
he's still 24, 25. He's got a massive career still ahead. So.
Excited to see him this autumn series, though, and see him back. Seen him a bit for. He's with the Bears now, isn't he? Bristol Bears. So good that he's had some game time at club level before the internationals now. But yeah, I think it's be quite an exciting autumn series for Wales. I think just to see where we are, because I think towards the back end of the Six Nations, it looked a bit better with that Ireland game. We pushed them relatively close, and obviously the England game after that wasn't great. But there were positives where we've not really had positives before that. So
biggest positive is that Cardiff's the best game day.
Oh, it is
for a day out, and it's a great day.
That's why I'm going watching Wales v South Africa.
South African top on.
You never played there. Have they ever had league in this principality?
Yeah, I've played there 3 times, I think.
Have you?
Ant's boxed there as well. So like, that's the dream, boxing. And now we can't play rugby there. If we could box there,
I'm sure that'll come
off. Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's my favourite. I speak about it when I talk about it.
Best stadium in the world. Like, I think it's the best stadium in the world.
Was it full when you played there?
Yeah, we played 2004 Challenge Cup final against Wigan. So Saints Wigan's the biggest.
And that sold out in Cardiff, did it?
Yeah.
Because that's what I was talking to my barber yesterday. He's a big rugby league fan, but the game at the Everton ground that sold out straight away. Where down south it doesn't sell so well rugby league, does it?
No, I mean there was 62,000 at Wembley for the
still
opening
a lot in it,
series.
Yeah,
the opening game of the series. Everton.
We don't see it at all round by SC. Like you come here and it's just all rugby league, and it's like quite nice to watch a bit of Union last weekend.
Not even when Jonathan Davis went across. What was the attitude?
I wasn't born.
The people talk about it.
We played golf with John Devereux as well, and great Union player, one of the youngest British and Irish Lions players ever. I think he was 19 when he went on that tour, and he changed over, didn't he? He played a bit of league, and
played a few games against.
It's different back then, though. I think, wasn't it? It's different. That'd be a collision, you two going into.
He's a big old boy. Say he played on the wing as well.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
He was a centre when in the Union, though, was he? He was 13 or 12 or 13, I think.
Big old boy. They always are from Wales.
Yeah.
Played with quite a few. They had a great affinity with Warrington. So like obviously I spotted you guys before.
That's the thing. It'd be good for that to come back though for young Welsh. I know it's Union mainly, but I wouldn't even know where to start. If I met a young lad in Wales who wanted to play league, where the hell do you take him? Like no local clubs.
I had it with my youngest.
Yeah.
Declared one day, watching Lee and Saints, wants to play rugby league. We live on the Wirral. Nearest club's Thatterweath, which is an hour's drive. Driving there, praying he didn't like it.
I think Bridgeend's probably is there a league there? There was Port Talbot somewhere. There was a thing, but where he has it's Union. But
save the petrol, play Union. I would.
I can only think of one rugby league club, the North Wales Crusaders.
North Wales Crusaders. They're made up of northern lads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they even train in and around the northwest.
All right, so Johan, Garan, diolch yn fawr. And thank you very much, of course, for coming, Scully, as always. Cheers, boys.
Thank you very
Brilliant.
much.
Thanks
Cheers.
for having us.
Boys.